welcome back to Doom Eternal Part 2. For those of you who have played it before, you'd realise that for some reason I'm not in the Fortress of Doom. I already have my Flame Belch and my Dash and the Plasma Rifle, like opening up with that. That's because I had a bit of a snafu with the original recording I did for this level. This is actually a second playthrough of this level, because somewhere between exporting this from my video editor and uploading it on YouTube, some kind of audio visual bug happened. Is the best way I can describe it. Halfway through this level, I don't know how it works. I tried to find solutions online and I couldn't find anything. But my audio kind of drifted, I suppose you could say. Like, as the video went progressively further along, it became completely out of sync to the point where, like, 15 minutes into this video, like, sound was like 15 seconds delayed. Like, you'd shoot the shotgun or, like, something could explode, but you wouldn't hear the sound effects for those for, like, 10 to 15 seconds afterwards. And I went into my editor, the video editor, and I played through, went to those exact points, and there was no issue. I watched the raw video file that I recorded for this, and there was no issue. So somewhere between exporting it and uploading it to YouTube was where this kind of came about, and I say somewhere, it was exporting it for some reason. No matter what settings or profiles I use to export that old gameplay from, it just keeps desyncing. I must have tried like 2 or 3 times under like 2 or 3 different setups, under like community recommendations for the editor I use, implementing specific fixes, and I even downloaded a third-party community patch which was meant to fix the issue as well, but nothing came of it. So I had to bite the bullet on this one and re-record and hope that this time whatever fucked up isn't gonna fuck up again. I mean, I've taken precautions on my end. One of the suggestions was maybe because I was recording the game in 60 FPS and then converting it to 30 FPS through my editor to put on YouTube, maybe that was causing some audio drift issues. So really this is a last effort to fix this issue, because worst case scenario then is we have to deal with some audio desync in the gameplay, and that's not ideal. it's suboptimal at best, almost as bad as my aim, in fact. Yeah, so I've actually been playing this game in my spare time as well, just kind of trying to get used to the controls a bit more, because I've got absolute potato aim when it comes to these games still. But as you can see, the practice I've put in has not paid off. I am shockingly bad still, but at least you might get some entertainment out of it, I suppose. Like, if you can't admire my amazing talent, you could at least laugh at my amazing lack of. But doing this setup like this, it does kind of allow for me to kind of talk a bit more about things that I was struggling to talk about in the original recording. Like, there's so many times I would start up like a topic of conversation, get completely distracted by the game, and then lose my train of thought and start talking about something else. I actually did that quite a lot in the first episode. but this one lets me doing it like this, at least for this one episode. Or I can carry on like this if you guys prefer me being able to talk a little bit more coherently and in hindsight. But it was at this point in the video I started talking about future plans for the channel, because in the first episode of Doom I said that I would like to start a second Let's Play series up, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to spoil what it is, oh, you have to wait and see, and that fell through tremendously. So I might as well explain what happened there. So the plan was, in a previous video, I don't remember which one it was, I think it might have been my Fable 4 video or the one just before or after that. One of those, I said that I had opinions on Borderlands 3, and that was that I didn't like it. And then, not too long ago, in the middle of December, well, not the middle of December, we're in the middle of December now, but like in the, no, sorry, it was in the last week of November. Was it really that long ago? It feels like it was quicker. Wow. But I purchased Borderlands 3 through a Steam sale, and the plan was I was going to do a full playthrough of the standard game, and then see if playing it on the PC would change my opinion or formulate new opinions. And I bought the game, installed it, went to run the game on the recommended settings that my PC allows for, which was actually meant to be playing this game on high settings, Borderlands 3 on high settings, and game crashed on me first time. So that was weird. So booted it up, dropped the settings to medium, 4 frames a second. Just on that cutscene talking to Claptrap. So after an excruciatingly long time to see if maybe actual gameplay would be slower, I took a step forward finally, and the game crashed, which sucked. So on low settings, I was getting at most 10 frames a second, which was frustrating, but unsurprising. Apparently Borderlands 3 is notorious for being an absolute shit show to try and get running. I don't know, it threw a wrench in the works. Like, I don't understand it myself, because even though you're seeing this gameplay play back at you at 30 frames a second, this is on high settings with some settings on ultra, and I'm still hitting 60 to 75 frames depending on what's going on in the area I'm in. Like, I don't dip below 55 frames. I know for some of you who have like your fucking nuclear powered PCs, like 55 frames is an absolutely disgustingly low amount. But when you're basically working off a budget PC that's hobbled together from like second-hand parts, that's not bad. At least I think so. But yeah, so Doom Eternal, that runs on high settings. I can run Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 on high settings as well. And again, some of those settings can be cranked up to max. I can play Warzone on high settings. Like, if a game has offered an opportunity to benchmark it, I've taken it. Like, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. That game, for some people, has been probably even worse than Borderlands 3 to get running at times for people. Like, some people can't even boot the game up without it, like, stuttering or crashing on them constantly. And I can play that game on its highest settings. And this is what confuses me, like, I just can't figure out why even on low settings I couldn't have got Borderlands 3 working, and I don't know. It's not cemented an opinion for me, because like I said, I don't know if it's maybe something on my end. I don't know if it was like maybe a corrupted file and I should have just done a reinstall. But I don't know. It was a frustrating end to something I was actually genuinely excited for. Like I was ready to play Borderlands 3 on PC, because I've got Borderlands 2 on PC. And I've got Borderlands 1 as well. And Borderlands 2, even though my aim is probably even worse on Borderlands 2, I love the shit out of that game. Just in general anyway. So I was excited to see if maybe like the PC experience would have, you know, like changed my mind a little bit. But I guess we'll never know. But then that does leave me open to other opportunities. Like I said, I've got Borderlands 1 and 2, maybe I can play through them. I was thinking, because Cyberpunk came out like day before yesterday at the point of me recording this, and because I can't afford it, maybe I could do a Deus Ex playthrough, do something like Human Revolution, then Mankind Divided, or just play Mankind Divided. I could play Resident Evil. I could play, I don't know, really, just about anything that doesn't require like a dam's worth of water to call the computer to play. I mean, I'd love, the dream is to get to a point where I do have a PC that like Tony Stark designed himself and just play anything with like no effort or stress. Because there are some games I do genuinely believe I would have a better time with. Like, I mentioned this in the first episode, I played Doom Eternal originally on the Xbox One, and even with like the options of turning like acceleration down, messing with the sensitivity, I never truly felt like the aim with sticks was ever meant to be a thing. It always felt either too stiff or too loose. There was never, for me anyway, and like my comfort levels, there was never a sweet spot. And even though my aim is shocking with a mouse, the sensitivity I've got it on, the settings I've got for my controls are comfortable. They make this game 100% more enjoyable for me to play on here. Like, I don't feel like I'm wrestling with the controls. And to be fair, I wasn't wrestling with the controller on the Xbox. It was just I could not find the sweet spot for the sticks and my aiming to be where I wanted them to be. Like, mouse and keyboard I can practice with, like I can fine tune these to where I want and just like rip through everything. And usually you could on an Xbox as well, but I just wasn't getting that with this game. It was the same with like Rage as well. Like Rage and Rage 2, they have the exact same issues for me. Rage 1, their controls on the Xbox was probably some of the worst I'd ever put up with on a console. Like, it's like Far Cry 2 as well. It's like so stiff, and it just doesn't feel good. But then when I played Rage 2 on PC for the first time, the controls do make all the difference. Like, I had such a better time playing through Rage 2 on the PC than I did on my Xbox, that it changed my opinion from being an okay shooter to being probably one of the most fun games, one of the most fun times I've had in an FPS game over the last couple years at least. I know a lot of people will disagree with that as well. Like, Rage 2 is Rage 2 is by no means the best FPS I've ever played, controller or keyboard and mouse. It's not groundbreaking in any way, I'd say, either. But it is a lot of fun. It's definitely a step up from Rage 2. There is a lot more going on. There's a lot more variety in the game. The driving controls can eat a dick. Especially when it forces you to go through a race at one point in the campaign. Like, driving controls on the console were bad enough. And then moving over to PC, it was just the worst thing ever. Like, the one thing I liked about Borderlands 2's vehicle controls was that it was steering with the mouse. Instead of, you know, steering with the fucking WASD keys, and mouse was just control, like camera control. I know a lot of people don't like that as well. Like, I've heard people who play Halo complain about it, even like Halo veterans, like friends of mine who like have played Halo their entire life, still complain that they haven't changed the way vehicles control. But yeah, no, I'm not jumping on the whole PC master race, you know, like fuck your console kind of thing, because I think consoles do lend themselves better to some things over PC, but then PC has like a majority of the advantage as well, like except price point, I'd say. Like, I mean, you can make a really decent budget PC in this day and age for like less than the asking price of a car now. I mean, there's some like budget gaming PCs you can buy pre-built that are like 600, 700, and they'll run games like Doom just fine on medium settings. And then consoles, you kind of just get that one price. I mean, you spend 500 for an Xbox One or an Xbox Series X now and a PlayStation 5, and you've basically got gaming PCs there and then, just with different branding and a controller. Also, I'm no expert on like the technical side of consoles and stuff, like specs and shit. I don't really get. So what I might be saying now would be probably considered horseshit. Like, but from, you know, what I've seen and from what I do understand, the one and done price you pay for a console, with maybe the optional choice of purchasing a pro version of that console a few years down the line, I think is a lot more I can't think of the word off the top of my head, but I think it makes life easier than like constantly like, oh, there's a new graphics card out, oh, there's a new processor out, oh, like, you know, swap your chipset. Like, oh, if you want this processor, then you're gonna need like 4 liters of cooling agent and enough tube to open up your own water park. Again, don't know anything about it. I am just chatting pure shit here, but it sounds about right. To the point where I've gone off on like a side tangent. I think I like broke off into like multiple tangents there, and I don't remember my original point. No, don't remember it. Oh, that was it. My original point being that I couldn't get Borderlands 3 to work. I don't know if it's because my PC or not. There are other options. If you have options for me, I'd love to hear them. I think that was it anyway. Last point of order I'm gonna make, and then I'm actually gonna just cut back to just pure gameplay and whatever I was saying at the time. Just a little bit of a update to the channel. So currently I've got a few videos on the go at once. This is standard for me. I'll have like one video in editing, one with a complete script, and one with like the script just starting, or at least like a note on my phone telling me to start the script. I don't want to don't want to spoil what I'm getting into, but my brother, of all people, had requested a game. I'm not going to spoil what the game is. I will give you a clue in the fact that it is in the same vein as the Bugs Bunny Lost in Time video, so it's going to be a nostalgia trip for both of us again, and it's going to be another simple review, because there's not really much going on with this game he chose. It's made for kids. It's all fucking bright lights and la-di-da. I have another more serious, I don't know if serious is the right word, but another, it's not going to be in-depth. I don't want to make another half an hour review video like the Wind Waker video was. Like I'm proud of what came out of that video, but half an hour, I mean, it took the combined efforts of me and my girlfriend to get just the basic editing of that done, because I was like back to work after lockdown had ended, and it was a butthole. But I've got another review in the works, as well as the request from my brother, and I do actually have a top 10 video coming out as well. So I've done top 10 games. I don't mind sharing this one. I've got a list coming out of my favourite songs and tracks from video games coming out soon as well. That's the one where the script has just been started. So the game my brother requested, that'll probably come last, because I'm halfway through playing the game. So obviously get that game done, and then, you know, write the script after that. And then the other video, the third video I'm working on, I have the script done for it. All I have to do is film and record, and yeah. My girlfriend says I do too much, and I agree to a point. She says I do too much in terms of, like, you know, how much I do at once, but then that's the part I agree with. But then when she says, when it comes to like my videos, like the reviews and stuff, I do too much in those, but I disagree. I don't feel like I do enough. I feel like I could be doing more, and I feel like I could be doing better, but, you know, if I felt like I was perfect off the bat, then well, it wouldn't be much of a journey, would it? I'd just be churning out like corporate shit all the time. I am going to leave you to it. I am going to now return you to the full glory of Doom Eternal. Let me know what you guys think about doing commentary like this, if you'd rather I stay like this and stay coherent, or if you just want to hear me ramble off about sweet nothing, chat shit and complain in the game. But yeah, back to your regularly scheduled demon slaying. But then he's got a shockwave attack too, which I just really can't wrap my head around, why so many enemies need like a shockwave. Again, it's probably me just like being whiny, and yeah, fair enough. Sorry, put a hold on that thought. Whoa, what is hitting me? I am so fucking lost. Okay, let's complain about something else. I don't like the fact that If an enemy hits you or surrounds you, you can't really get away from it. Like, if you get boxed in a corner, good luck trying to fucking jump over the enemy. My guy, fuck off. Jesus. Where's this Revenant I haven't killed yet? Where the fuck is it? Oh, will you stand still? Jesus. I lost 2 lives in that. It seems like once in a while you'll get all of the fucking enemies just like bum rush you at once and trap you in a fucking space, and even with a double jump and a dash you can't even seem to budge an imp out of the way without issue.
Signal is nearby. There are motion sensors and artillery everywhere.
I told you all to leave me here. I am where I belong. Saving your people will not bring you peace. Only make the burden you carry.
So this is the guy whose son got turned into the icon of sin. From the lore in the first game. And everyone thought that the Doomslayer was the betrayer.
And now you seek to defy the Khan Maker herself. It is your people's time now to give penance, just as it was mine. Hear me, Slayer. When his heart is laid to rest, then his soul will be at peace. And so will mine.
So this is something I'll probably touch on towards the end of the actual series, but that little bit there confuses me. I don't want to go into it now, just in case, you know, some people are watching this and they aren't aware of the story and spoilers and whatnot. But is that like a secret path? Is there something down here? I don't remember. No, there's not. Okay. But that part's always confused me because it means this guy technically predicted the future. But again, I could just be missing something. I always do that shit.
The extraction point point has been identified. I will mark its location on
Ah,
your
did... Whatever. Oh my god. Are we doing this again? This happened to me last time. I don't know what it is, but... apparently I struggle holding back on the fucking keyboard. Like, I can't hold S down when I'm, like, jumping on these platforms. So I, like, overshoot, and then I complain that I overshoot. Trick shot. Yeah, boy. Right, let's try and put this to good use while I've got it. There he is. This is the guy I wanted out of the way first. Cool beans. And that is that. Hopefully this recording didn't bugger up on me this time. Actually, it went a lot more smoothly than last time as well. In the time it took me in the last recording to get this far, I had only beaten the level. But now I've done a Slayer Gate as well, so yay me. But but anyway, hopefully part 3 will be out soon enough. Hopefully I decide what game I'm going to add on as well. If you've got a suggestion, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Roast me in the comments on my poor gameplay if you want. Whatever you fancy. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!